What's up? Today we're going to be talking about how to overcome every single objection as an insurance agent, coming from somebody who has closed thousands of policies with basically a 90% close rate on any client that I can get on the line. And I'm licensed across the country. My name is Prince Donnell. If you don't know who I am, I was awarded by National Life Group for some of the most policies sold in 2021. I have an agency behind me, and on top of that, I have also trained and coached over 850 agents when it comes to sales, AI automation, leads, everything. So I want to be able to break this down for you today. Let's jump right into it because this is one of my favorite topics, objections. Jordan Belfort, if you don't know who that is, Wolf of Wall Street, and he came out with a book called Way of the Wolf. And what he said was that you don't earn your money in sales until you get your first objection, which I thought was powerful because sometimes we get on the line talking to life insurance clients and there's not a single objection. That wasn't actually a sale, that was just a layup. Or what I would like to consider, it was enrollment. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that because I'll take enrollments every day of the week where somebody does not give me an objection. But in a lot of cases, as you know, you're going to get that objection. And if you have not trained or prepared for it, that's the reason why you're going to lose that deal. The objection could come in the beginning of the call, it could come in the middle, it could come at the end. You got to prepare for every moment. So I'm going to walk you through how to overcome every single objection in the way that I normally do it as an agent and how I actually train my team to do it. So let's start off with what I believe an objection is. I think an objection is just a reason, okay? An objection is just a reason to resist the information that you're trying to tell them to. It's a reason to resist the call to action. So if the call to action is, hey, Mr. Client, let's go ahead and get your life insurance policy started. Can I start with your first and last name so we could go through the application? I'm going to ask you some medical questions. Well, then they hit you with the objection. They're hitting you with the reason and resisting moving forward. That's all it is. So don't take objections personally. And I see agents do this all the time. As soon as the objection comes, well, you know you need this, right? You're the one who filled this out. You say that you need insurance, you don't have any, and you took this thing personal. To the point where nobody wants to do business with you. Why would I want to do business with somebody who insults me because I gave them an objection? You're in sales. It's your job to be able to provide enough value to the prospect to get them to overcome their current reasoning as to why they're not moving forward. It's not for you to argue with them at that time because you're not building trust, you're not building a relationship, especially if you are referrals as a life insurance agent. You shot yourself in the foot because of how you acted during that objectionary phase. And here's what I'll tell you, tip number one, be extremely kind. So think about it like Chick-fil-A, right? When you go to Chick-fil-A, those people are the kindest individuals I've ever met in my life. It's the reason why I love Chick-fil-A, why I spend money there, and the odds are you probably do too. Secondly, think about Trolls, the movie, right? Like my daughter, she loves Trolls. She watches it, she dances to it. She's only a year old, and every time Trolls come on, she's like dancing and doing her whole thing, right? And Trolls are the nicest creatures in the world. So much so that they have like a watch every 30 minutes, like it goes off telling them that it's hug time. That's how kind they are. And they sing and dance and everything. You got to do the same thing as an agent. That's number one, okay? Be extremely kind. No matter what the prospect tells you, the only way you're going to be able to overcome this objection is through being extremely kind, not through you being an asshole, okay? Not going to take you anywhere far, and more importantly, you're not going to get paid. When the whole goal of this is to protect the client and get paid. Being an asshole ain't going to do that for you. So that's number one. All right, let's go to the next part. Now, let's dig deeper into the objections themselves. So you need to prepare for the objections that are going to come. I'm really, really big on this. The reason why I overcome all objections is because I wrote down a list of all the objections that I've ever heard over the course of my career. And of course, I can't do all of that in this video today. Like, you know the common objections. I never filled this out. I'll get back to you later. I'm not interested right now. I don't have the financial capabilities to do this. I got to talk to my spouse. I got to da-da-da. I got to da-da-da. I got to da-da-da. All these things, right? And like the top 10 objections that you hear, I want you to write them all down on a document. And now when you write them on a document, I want you to now put your responses to each of those objections. How would you respond? Now remember, I told you to be extremely kind. And after being extremely kind, provide reasoning to that objection. So as an example, let me see if I can actually find my sales script here so I can show you a real life example of that during the objection. You give me 1 second. This is a live video, so I'm going through my computer right here so I can show you guys. So I'm going to pull up my sales script. By the way, if you don't have a sales script, you should get one because it is going to help you tremendously. Let me pull up my sales script. Here it is. Okay. Now, let's go into one of these objections, which is, I'm only looking for a quote today. I know you heard that all before. Well, I already have responses pre-populated for when that happens, and I practice that every day so that it doesn't trip me up on the call. See, sometimes as an agent, you didn't even prepare for that objection, so now you're winging it, and you're like, oh, well, this, and now you're getting flustered. Practice the objections that you're hearing. So I'm only looking for a quote today. Hey, here's exactly what's on my screen right here. Hey, I completely understand, but can I be honest with you, Joe? This quote that I'm going to give you is not going to leave a legacy for Jonathan. And which means that Jonathan is going to be severely impacted by this decision today of you not wanting to get a quote. You said you were thinking about this, and it's why we're on the phone today. My best recommendation is to get life insurance while you're thinking about it, or you'll never get it. We're only submitting an application today. And by the way, the application is free. You don't have to pay anything, okay? And you don't pay until you're approved. And we just put in the application to even see if you're approved. And it would be painful to not help you leave a legacy for your family. So this will only take 20 minutes of your time, no more. Does that sound fair, Joe? So I gave that as an example. I'm not going to go into the rest of the objections. I actually have an entire 4-hour crash course that literally has my sales scripts, my objections, everything that I want to do. I'm going to put the link below. I have like a 5-day, 5-hour full-blown training on sales, but I use that as an example that I'm prepared. I already know the objections. I've practiced them. I train on them every night, and my team in here does the same thing. They're not getting caught up, right? You're a professional. You're an expert. Make sure you practice those objections, okay? All the ones that you're hearing and write proper responses to those. That brings me to the next point of why an objection even comes to begin with. Why does one even create an objection? Well, I think that it's for a number of different reasons, in my opinion, based off of my experience and what I've heard. The first reason is because, number one, they don't trust you at all. Like, to the point where they don't believe you're an expert. They don't believe you can help them. They sat through a painful 45-minute phone call or a presentation or in-home appointment, and they've been waiting the whole 45 minutes for this to be over. I'm just being honest. Why am I being honest with you? Because I've been there before. I've had experiences, and I actually called clients on the phone and said, why didn't you move forward? And they told me the honest truth. See, you gotta go call back some of the people and ask them the honest truth about why they didn't move forward. They'll tell you. See, but that's if you care enough about your insurance business to even take that route to understand so you can get better, but your feelings will be hurt, okay? So I called before and they said it was a painful 45 minutes. I sucked at the time. So they were waiting for this call to be over. So that's number one. And if that's the reason, then that means you just have to get better. Like, there's no other solution I can provide you other than, hey, put in the work, practice your sales script, practice your presentation, practice your delivery of life insurance so a client can understand and you'll get better. I've been doing this for over 10 years. So, and the reason why I'm able to talk in front of a camera like this is because I've been doing this for 10 years. If you haven't been doing that, lean in. Make sure that you learn. Make sure that you buy training so you can get better at sales, because sales is your best friend. It's the only way you're gonna make a lot of money in this industry. So reason number one is because they don't trust you as an expert. They never did, and they were waiting for the call to be done. Reason number two is that you gave them too much to think about. Oh, this is a big one. I talk to my team about this all the time. They get hit with that objection. I listen to the call and I say, yo, you were vomiting at the mouth. Now, if you don't know what that means, let me break it down. Vomiting at the mouth is you literally giving the client so much information, giving so many different large life insurance words that people don't understand. You want to try to sound smart, but then in sounding smart, it backfired against you because now the prospect is like, I'm lost in the sauce and I have no idea what you're talking about. And now they normally resort to, I have to think about it because you gave them a lot to think about. So you got to remember, the goal of this presentation of life insurance is to get them to fill out an application because you want to protect their families. That's your only goal. If you start going into all these different concepts and infinite banking and then buy term, invest the difference, and no shots at people who do buy term, invest the difference with Primerica. I work with a lot of agents with Primerica, but my point is you start going into all these different high level strategies and now they're like, nah, you know what? I got to give it some thought. You are the one who are responsible for them having to think about it too much. So there's a balance between giving enough but not too much for them to be overwhelmed, okay? So make sure that you're very clear and you're straightforward. That's why I encourage you, again, to really listen to Jordan Belfort, The Way of the Wolf. He talks about the straight line system to ensure that like you're not giving too much in a call, that you know where you are and you're keeping it on point. The third reason is you took way too much time, and by the time they got to the end of the call, they're so tired and they're like, I'm just going to tell you any objection to get back to you tomorrow, or I got to think about it again, right? So now you're taking 3 hours on the call. You can't do that. You're taking 2 hours on the call. You can't do that. You're taking an hour on the call. You can't do that. Hey, look, life insurance calls got to be 30 to 45 minutes. And I get on my team about this high. Like, yo, how long were you on that call? 2 hours. Come on now. Unless you were structuring this whole infinite banking strategy, term, whole life, and all, unless you were doing a high level structure, if this was just a term policy or just a simple guaranteed issue whole life policy, it ain't no reason for you to be on that call for an hour or 2 hours. This is for you. You got to get the client in and out. People want efficiency. People can go online right now and get a life insurance policy in 2 minutes. They're not waiting an hour or 2 hours for you, and you wasted their time. So that means that you need to get better at being able to efficiently get through the application process and the presentation so you can get down to the bottom, let the client go ahead and make the commitment and move forward. People can't make commitments when they're tired. And that's the reason why you're getting the objections that you're getting, right? So be mindful of your time. And last but not least, this is my favorite one, you didn't give enough value. This one right here is like the key to it all. See, there's no such thing as something that's too much money. Whoever told us that is lying to us. There are a lot of things in this world that are worth a lot of money to whomever you're asking. But then you got certain people who that's not a lot of money to them. And then you even have certain people that even if it was considered a lot of money, they'll figure out how to find the money because it's that valuable to them. So if I were to ask you right now, would you rather me pay you $1 million right now? Would you rather pay me $1 million right now in cash, but you're not going to be able to wake up tomorrow? Which one would you take? $1 million in cash or not being able to wake up tomorrow? Which one would you take, Hamid?
I think I'll take waking up.
You take waking up tomorrow. So you see, he values, and I got this from Brad Lee, by the way, which I thought this was really cool. Y'all should follow Brad Lee too. It really put like perspective in my mind that he values waking up more than $1 million. So like we talked about, if the value of something is high enough, people are willing to pay $1 million or sacrifice $1 million for it. Think about that. Which means that price doesn't matter, value does. Waking up is just so valuable that there's no dollar amount associated to it, and people will be willing to sacrifice whatever to wake up tomorrow. Think about that. So when we're talking about a $50 or $100 per month commitment that the prospect is making, if you can't get them to commit to $50 to $100 a month, it's only because they did not find anything that you said to be valuable. And now you just have to work on your value proposition. So here's how you can work on your value, because I want to give you a lot of value here today. Give everything. Give everything away. I'm staring directly at the camera at you right now because I am so serious. Pay attention. Hamid, zoom in for me just a little bit. Like, give me this shot. You know what I'm saying? Let me know when it's there. It's there. All right, ready? give everything away for free. One more time, because I gotta, we ready? Here it is, y'all. Pay attention. Give everything away for free. I know you're probably like, Don, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Because if I give too much away, the prospect will just try to go get life insurance themselves. Exactly. And the reason why you're not closing is because that thought process in your mind, that if you tell them everything, they're going to do it themselves, you're restricting them from information. They can feel it. They don't find it valuable enough, and they just decide to leave and do it anyway. So regardless of if you gave enough value or not, if they were going to do it, they were going to do it. But I can tell you this for certain. You give enough value to the right person, they're going to pay every day of the week. So when I say give everything away for free, tell them everything they need to know about term. Educate them on whole life. Educate them on every option in the world. Make them feel like, wow, you shared so much with me today about creating generational wealth for my family. I have no idea how to repay you. Oh, I do. Let's go ahead and fill out this application today. So give value. Don't be afraid. And the reason why I'm also closing 90% or more of my life insurance prospects is, you know why? Because I gave so much value prior to them even getting on the call. Whoa, that's a secret right there that a lot of people don't share with you. I give value before the call. So prior to them even setting up the phone call, they already saw a piece of my content on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook where I'm breaking down life insurance and term and permanent, how these work. And then I'm sending them a link prior to our phone call, telling them to watch this video on YouTube that I created. That's a 10-minute video breaking down how life insurance works. So by the time they get on the call, they're already familiarized with me. They've already watched the content and the videos. They're like, Don, that was so valuable. What's the next steps? So I'm playing an unfair game because I already gave them pre-value prior to getting on the call. It's called grooming the prospect. Okay? And that's a gem right there that you can take that I didn't even know I was going to add that to this video, but you can have it. That's worth $1 million that I just gave you right there. Give value away. Just give it away. Same thing I'm doing for you guys right now. And in return, you're going to find a way to support me in some way, shape, or form. I don't got to ask you to do it. You're ultimately going to do it because the power of reciprocity is extremely strong. People feel that when you do so much good for somebody, they just feel obligated to do good back, whether it be financial goodness, labor, like goodness with their labor and their time. I don't know. Prospects feel the same way. Okay, so with that is how you overcome every single objection and how you have the ability to be able to close 90% of your life insurance deals. But I could go even further than this, but for the sake of time, I'm going to end the YouTube video out by telling you this. I created a 5-hour, full-blown video training that breaks down everything from how you need to explain the psychology of life insurance to the prospect, breaking down what my sales script looks like and exactly how things need to be structured in the sales script. You're going to walk away with a sales script. I even break down all of the objections as an example, just to show you this here, like, so you know what I mean. Like, I have an entire objections category right here that literally just goes down the line, and I have them all here, my top 10. So I already know exactly what I'm looking for, okay? I know exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to give you the objections and the pain points. I'm going to even show you how to cross-sell life insurance policies to a prospect. Like after the sale is done, how to cross-sell to actually add an extra $250 to $500 in commission to every single close that you have, which if you just do that 10 times a week, that's extra $5,000 that you just earned a week on the same prospects that you already turned into clients. So I'm going to do all of that. It's 5 hours. Go ahead and click the link below. Check it out if you found this video valuable, and make sure you get that 5-hour training. It's really going to help you take your agency to the moon. With that said, I'm Prince Donnell, founder of Internet Agents, Jack Life Insurance, and I look forward to being able to provide you with much more